What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't go out there. It's fine. Literally. You're fine.
It was on the bed.
I just sound so mad. And I don't
That sucks,
know
dude.
why.
Hopefully I lose the first round. But then... Here. Stop it. Sorry, folks. Whoever's there, I was trying to get a friend in and I wasn't able to, and it sucks. Da 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 da. Yo, you gotta go sit on the couch so you can watch the Rocket League. Squeeze up in there. Tell them to move the booch their scooch. There is more than enough room on that couch. Yeah, that's a 4-seater. Oh, is there really 4? Who's over there? That's 3 people. Oh, Russell's over. You're so quiet, Russell. I totally forgot. I feel so bad. You have the tobacco? Where, here? Hold on. Yeah, I need that was splendid. I have no idea what that. I can't do this right now. I found it. This bracket's almost done generating, boys and girls. Curse. It's Curse while I'm live. Who are we? We are Pastel Gizmo. Okay. What a name. Yes. It's not like soccer, but yes. That's the concept, but that's not at all how it's played. More like, I don't know. Reminds me more like basketball. Yes. I'm Mr. Blue Card. That's not there anymore. Let's get it. This fucking...
Alright, looks like we got to try a little bit harder, boys.
Oh my god. Y'all suck! I don't know how I missed that. My fault. Oh. I'm not getting it. Why would you do that, you fucking monster? You're a dumbass. If you hit that fucking ball, I swear to you, fucking. Yo. What the? Y'all are not in a boat. Y'all suck. Oh. Yo, go get ready, Dylan. Go get ready.
Bruh.
Yeah, it's very close to that. And one like small minor. Same when I get drunk. Like it's fucked.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see one of these teams, whether it be on a transition goal, whether it be on just a full-on transitioning of the defense to the offense and slowing the ball down and keeping it there. Someone show me good, positive play.
And someone's got to do that more than another, and that's Michigan right now. They have got to take control of this series, especially the longer we play scoreless. That just plays more in Ohio State's favor. So for Michigan, yeah, there's still a chance because of the score, but at the same time, if they don't get one on, any goal from OSU will just completely close this series out, and that'll be all she wrote. You can see OSU, they're comfortable. They're not pressing it, and they don't need to until Michigan can prove that they can make a play consistently.
And that'll be a shot on by Shiro. Big save by Quap. We'll keep this out. Clavin, great read on the 50-50. We'll push through the midfield in the offensive zone. This is Quap. Weak touch towards the net. Could have boomed on instead. It ends up being kind of a duff. It would have been off into the corner either way. But those are the touches you wish you had back. And now, Shiro, Sleppy may just find a touch that they would like back here in the box. The 1, 2, 3. It's Masseter to put it away.
Scramble on the Michigan defense side. We have a double there. Flamadil on Quap. No one left. Shiro gets one more off the backboard.
Join. I don't know why I kicked you.
Oh,
I know
why. Threw their offense at that play. Finally, they open up and they recognize the opportunity. It's that OSU shuffle. And they have the lead yet again. A lead late here, looking for their second straight sweep in a perfect position to get that now. They just got to hold on.
Melon Man in Masseter. 75 seconds to go, and we'll be able to crack one open. For Michigan, time well spent. We'll make the save here on the Flemadiddle shot. Flemadiddle does manage to get up in time to try to redirect this ball, but both members of the Michigan offense have decided to retreat back onto defense. I do like the fact that it seems like Michigan's keeping a man forward, almost power play-esque. They're going to have to find someone if they do look to convert on a pass, because Ohio State are reading a lot of these touches in the midfield very well.
No doubt about it. The Wolverines are going to have to string a play together here. It's not going to be these single touches that are going to get it done against Ohio State, especially with a comfortable OSU arm pushing back. That was the chance. Clavin out. Flamadiddle with the opportunity. Just a little wide. That may be the final opportunity for Michigan, but they've got a little more time to push down. Maybe one more in the bag.
12 seconds to go. Still opportunities. We're seeing forced demos in the offensive side. Flemadiddle on Shiro. They're going to need to quick transition it all the way back. One. Flop takes control. The flick up and over. It'll be down by Sleppy, however. And Michigan will fall. Ohio State hold the complete sweep on stream of Michigan teams. Michigan Tech, no matter. Michigan Wolverines, ha! Hail to the Buckeyes.
Hey, a team that I talked about struggled closing teams out. It was definitely one of my storylines coming in, and Ohio State put that all to rest here against a couple of Michigan teams who were hoping they could get some wins. But unfortunately for them, Ohio State's just too strong. And honestly, you mentioned some scrims between these two teams. It felt like Ohio State had something in their plans coming in as far as how they played, because you would expect they would have come out a little bit more loose with that win against Michigan Tech, feeling good, but they were very structured, and they really just forced Michigan to make plays. And we just, in the end of the day, we just didn't see it. Saw a couple of plays here and there developing, but it's kind of that same story for the Wolverines, where they just cannot get a sustainable, continued offense going where they're getting multiple touches on the ball that they're beating the opponent. And it's really tough to score consistently when you're not getting that.
100%. And you mentioned the word loose. Speaking of loose, let's bring somebody in who is always the loosest of hosts. We are talking about Ryan. Ryan, my friend, Michigan 6-0. I mean 0-6. Oh, that's a Freudian slip. Oh boy. There we go again.
Why intro me that way?
I mean, look at you, man. You are right here. You are amazing. You like to cut loose, my friend. Is that? Am I the only one? Am I the only one on this board?
You could have used any other verbiage there. You could have said the chillest of hosts, the most relaxed of guys. You chose loose. Why that word?
Lucy, never mind. And
Fucking fuck.
Here.
When you get back out there, however you get back out there, go green. Because everybody does. We ride for
Matchup, Sam. Ohio State, they continue the sweep through the night. 6 games straight. They don't drop a single one through 2 series. I mean, what can we say about these guys looking forward? Because we talked about the inconsistencies, but now they are saying they have 1 game left, and they're looking hot.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, they're clearly at least that team in that solid 5th spot. I mean, they've really only dropped 1 match this season that I thought maybe they should have won. And so they're looking more and more like a very consistent team in the sense that they're always with it. We talked about how many game 5s they've played. That was kind of nuts to play. What was it, like 5 straight series to start, all going game 5s, and that's against some really tough opponents. You know, they had Akron, Northwood in there twice, going game 5, St. Clair going game 5. So they're taking the top teams game 5, and those are all really good signs for Ohio State. So yeah, I think for them getting a couple wins here, getting above 500 starts to show a little bit more in their record what this team's all about. And as I look at the schedule in front of them, they should win out. They should definitely win out. They shouldn't be dropping any more matches. And so their record's only going to get better from here on out, or at least it should, as long as they do what they need to do. It's up to this team to execute, no doubt about it.
As long as the Ohio State we saw tonight continues to show up, you can expect things to only go up from here for them. But Kendo, like you said, hail to the victims in this matchup. You know, it was a tough go here for Michigan. What do you feel they could have done better, and what should they try to do better as they move into their next games to close out the season?
I'm going to be perfectly honest. This is a team that's different. They're built different. They play the demo game extremely well. Have full-on confidence in that demo game, because when Michigan pops off, I do feel like this is a team that could take down anybody. They went the distance with some teams that most people predicted early on, like they have no chance whatsoever. This is a Michigan team that is going to continue to get better with guidance from Flavin. I do feel like they are going to recover. They're going to regain, and they have a very good chance to make a run throughout the Tower of Doom.
Yeah, I definitely won't be surprised if we see them show up when it comes time to, put up or shut up. And I fully expect to see them kind of come out swinging for the fences at that point. And, you know, you talk about how they're built different, but you could also say they hit different as well.
Yeah, they do. They do hit different. I mean, you can give me a schooling on verbiage later on, Ryan. I believe that you've earned that, considering
It's 2-0. It's been happening right now, Kendo.
Exactly.
It's 2-0. So.
But guys, thank y'all so much for joining me here. When we come back, we're going to be heading on over to the Western Conference, and we're going to have 2 new faces joining us here on the desk. Before we go to our break, though, I do have to remind you guys, while I have the master salesman next to me, you guys need to go and pick up some merch. I do an exclamation point store there in chat, and, you know, we have some great example right there in Sam. He's got my beautiful note card shirt. If you like my handwriting, if you like all the scribbles I did on that note card way back when, I'm sure that shirt is for you. It's soft as heck.
This is one of my favorite shirts.
It's super soft.
Shirts. I'm not just saying, I'm not a salesman.
Yeah.
This is a super soft shirt. I love this shirt.
You know, design aside, that is an extremely soft shirt. I love wearing that shirt.
The design is also amazing. This is one of our best. It may be gone at some point. I feel like it's gonna sell out, and that's gonna be that. So
yeah.
I don't
So
know.
again, exclamation point store to pick it up while you can. You can also pick up a White Helmsy blanket. You know, all of our beautiful meme merchandise that we have there as well. But guys, when we come back, it's gonna be Columbia versus Arizona as we start things off on the western side of the Americas. We'll be back here in just a little bit.
What is he doing? Oh my god. Ow, ow. Bruh. That would be the worst.
That's it, folks.
Play it day one with Xbox Game Pass.
Bullshit. Bullarchy.
Okay, you're delivering sunscreen too?
Bullcrap.
Tony
Is what the
Hawk?
fudge monkeys that was.
Okay, Tony. So we're not gonna do.
Okay, I need a break from Rocket League.
Ooh, snacks. Okay, that's just magic. Do you want a break, maybe, Tony? Guess not. A hawk? You can't get a hawk delivered.
What's that?
Get anything except Tony Hawk's hawk.
What's Gucci in the Hoochie? Why is it doing this? Yeah, I'm screaming.
Drink, break, ending.
What in the? This shit is all whacked out right now. Why is it saying bleach, my dude?
Well, that's kind of our thing.
I don't know how you handle
What is
things
going
like this.
on?
Well, typically we just kind of wing it.
This is a
You just went to the
This
folder,
is a
didn't you?
special class of criminal.
You did.
Sarah, you said you were buying a car today.
Dad.
I stayed up and crunched all the numbers.
I already used
Bro,
Capital
what
One
in
Auto
the
Navigator.
fuck is
I found my
going
car online and
on?
got pre-qualified instantly. Easy.
Well, since we're both up, who wants
Window
French toast?
capture. Why are you
What's in
telling
your
me
wallet?
the most random junk ever?
Don't just settle for good.
Today's gonna be different.
Bruh, you are
good guy.
telling me
I'm
some
gonna be the
junk
great
right
guy.
now.
Go for great.
These must be limited edition.
Why is this screen so small?
Each Under
I'm
Armour
not
shoe
dealing with y'all.
has unique technology to take your performance to the highest level. Level up with shoes
What
that
is
take you
going
from
on?
good to great. And see Free Guy only in theaters rated PG-13.
Capture window. Where the game capture's right there, and it's closed.
All stocks by the slice from Fidelity. Get your slice today.
Level up the fun with the all-new Civic from Honda.
Okay, you just don't want to.
Hot right now.
Listen,
They're the only undefeated team left here in the Western Conference. And then looking on down towards the bottom, we have Arizona, A&M, UTEP, and ASU rounding out our bottom four
wrecked.
positions. Again, just a couple wins here with these last games remaining can immediately
Apparently
bump
nothing
you
wants to
up
work right
as you
now.
go into that seeding for our playoff bracket there at the end. Because again,
Seems
Division
very
One,
annoying.
everybody makes it through. So at this point, they are just playing
Okay.
for seeding, but every
Buddies.
single position there is going to matter big time for these guys as you hope for that easier matchup. But here to help break everything down for you guys the rest of this evening, we have
Fucking
Sleek Sleegy and Floms. How you guys doing?
I am doing good. Ready to see some nice action down there because, it's been a couple sweeps so far tonight, but maybe we get a couple game fives if things pick up here on the latter half. I'm excited either way.
Yeah, it's always a good night when there's Rocket League on the cards. I know that we say this every single time, but it's always true, and it will continue to be true for the foreseeable future, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's always going to be true. Rocket League is life for us casters, baby. You know it. But we're going to be going into this next matchup. It's going to be Columbia versus Arizona. And Floms, Arizona, they have had all three of those losses that you see there dealt to them by top 6 teams here in the Western Conference. And all their wins have come from people in the bottom 6, so realistically their record is kind of against them as we go into this one, with Columbia being right there at number 3. What do you feel they've got to be doing to kind of hopefully turn the tides of fate?
I'll preface this by saying I think this is kind of a fall for grace for Arizona. They've been a top team in CRL so long. They took the 2nd season, and now all of a sudden they're finding themselves fighting for survival in the midfield. It's a weird position to see Arizona. It's not something you would generally expect, but I think to answer your question more directly, there's 2 things I want to highlight. The first, that they beat everyone below them. So evidently they're doing something right. They're at least maintaining their status. But at that point, challenging the upper part of the bracket is a completely different story. And in having a new roster, I think it's just a matter of time. They've had some amount of time over the summer to adapt. And I mean, ultimately, that's what the summer is for. That's the name of the game, is use it as a way to bring in new players, bring in the freshmen, move out, get the seniors out of there, whatever, and get prepared for fall. So I don't think it's area for concern, but to challenge the top, it just takes practice. There's really no secret sauce. That's what it is. It's just practice.
Yeah, definitely it's going to come down to practice, but also Arizona, they still have only played 5 games so far. So counting tonight's matchup, they have 6 left to go through. So they still have plenty of time to kind of turn things around here as well. But, looking on the other side here, Sleegy, Columbia are currently way up in the standings. As we said, they are sitting 3rd overall here in the West. With that said, though, there's a bit of a mix-up tonight here for Columbia, because Cam is going to be subbing in for Cosmic Flippy. How do you feel that's going to affect their game plan here tonight?
What about me?
I definitely think it's going to have a bit of an impact, but
don't do that.
Good teams generally have a way even through substitutions like this or whatever else happens to be going on that might throw them off kilter, is that good teams have the ability to adapt and overcome. And that is what I'm expecting to see from them tonight. Substitution might change how you approach things a little bit, but as long as you're able to take that initial game plan and sort of mold it around what you need to do to get things done with this new lineup, then I think they're going to end up being just fine. And I think really what is going to be key is surviving that first game. That's going to be really critical for them, because that's what's going to be the most different overall. And if they can get out of that, and especially if they can take a win, I think from there they'll start to be more and more comfortable with how they're playing, and it can roll from there. So it's really going to be critical about how well and how quickly they're able to get into some sort of a rhythm here in game 1.
Yeah, game 1 is definitely going to be where we see the pace set for both these squads. But all the analysis, all the talking points aside, it is time for us to go into our predictions. Floms, I'm going to kick it right on back to you. Who do you see taking this one?
There's a part of me that really wants to pick Arizona on this one, but in doing so, I feel like I have a notion of what Arizona looks like over the past year and a half here that doesn't seem to be holding true over the summer series. So as much as I want to pick Arizona, my head is telling me that I should pick Columbia College. So I'm going to take the safe bet here and bet on the favorites based on the record solely. The only reason I'm a little skeptical is I haven't seen Columbia play all that much. I've casted them once on the summer series, and that's about it. So, and I think they lost that series for what it's worth. So surely, I mean, evidently the records suggest they've come a long way. So I have no reason to doubt them, and I'll put my money there.
Fuck.
All right, and Sleegy, what do you think?
I'm thinking I'm going the same way. Columbia is feeling really strong coming into this game, and sometimes I put a lot of thought and energy into who I think is going to win, but sometimes I go by gut. And in this situation, I think it's another one of those, kind of a combination really, but mainly gut. I'm going to have to go with Columbia. I think that they've just got the better track history that shows that they perform better in situations like this. And I mean, I'm even going to go out there on a limb, and I'm say they're going to take it in a 3-0 sweep here.
You were just hoping for game 5s,
Hey, look,
and you're.
look.
I mean,
all right,
come
hold
on,
up.
man.
Whoa. All right, look. Hear me out. All right, I can hope for a game 5 while expecting only a game 3. All right, I'm just over here vibing. I don't know if y'all been listening to this new Athena song, but it's a bop. So the longer this goes on, the more I can just sit here and chill. So whatever happens is fine with me.
As
Look,
casters,
man.
our word is law, man. We write the script. Everybody knows that.
Bro, if my word is
Everybody
law,
knows that.
there is some, we got some big problems going on.
All I'm saying is, so you can predict whatever you want, but all I'm hearing right now is excuses.
Yeah.
I mean,
with flops.
I got them for days, dude. I finally got my new phone on insurance, and it is just slapped full of excuses. It's great.
Oh, I think I'm going to have to agree with both you guys, though. I think Columbia takes this one. I think we get a little bit more of a series, though. I think we're at least going 4 games here between these two. But that is going to do it here for me. Guys, take us to our first matchup here for the Western Conference.
Appreciate that, Ryan. And yeah, you know,
I did it.
It was like I was saying, though, Floms, even though I'm expecting a 3-game set here, I am not going to be sad at all to be proven completely and utterly wrong if it ends up going to 4 or 5. The more that we end up seeing just means the closer these teams hopefully end up playing. I know sometimes we do see teams go to 4 or 5, but each individual game feels a bit lopsided, but I feel like that's more uncommon than it is otherwise. So regardless of how this series ends up ending, I'm just hoping that both teams come ready to play and, you know, just give it everything they've got.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the hope. And for what it's worth, I do, to go back to your point about I'm expecting 3 and hoping for 5, I think there's always a certain level of guilt in picking either team. You know, when there's even an argument to be made, it almost feels like you're taking shots at someone by not picking them.
Well, we will see how it ends up coming out here. It is game number 1 between these two sides. It's Arizona in the maroon and dark blue, and Columbia in that nice light blue and gray. We get things going on down the field. And it's going to start a little bit of a pickup here. Cam trying to put some pressure towards net, but ends up sitting it a bit too wide. Cryptic not quite able to find it. Nudging, looking for the follow, but it ends up coming just wide off the post, and that was an excellent opportunity to start the game.
Excellent opportunity, and it's already a byproduct of a double commit from Columbia College. They've already had a couple of warning flags for my liking. It's not something that you want to see from the supposed favorite going into this year, and Arizona evidently with the better shot so far. But at the end of the day, it's still a game 1 between 2 relatively close teams. We're going to expect some level of ping pong. We're going to expect some level of trying to feel out the opponent, and really everything you would want to see from a game 1. So I'm not too concerned for Columbia College just yet, but the double commits have certainly already come out.
They have, and we're seeing another pickup here. Cryptic having to play that one away on his back end. A follow-up shot that he has to try and get a little bit of a touch on as well. This one coming out of the corner. Jelly not quite able to reach there in time. It'll be Cam pushing it downfield. Good touch from Cryptic. Back to Cam again. The deflection from Nudging. Able to keep that attack from being as dangerous as it could have been. Jelly forced to make another save there into the corner. Cryptic not able to get that one where he wants, and it's a good clear downfield from Arizona. 90 seconds gone. 3.5 minutes left playing game number 1, and it is still a scoreless game so far. We've seen a couple of good opportunities, I think, really on both sides of the field.
Yeah, and you can already tell where this game is going to fall kind of in terms of the dynamics of things. You can see Columbia College have already proven themselves to be vulnerable on the long shots from Arizona, the pot shots from the parking lot, where Arizona's been getting a tremendous amount of power. Here's another one here. Jelly won't find the target, but it destabilizes Columbia College and forces them back. And really, I think to some level that just comes from defending the midfield aggressively is Columbia College, and they could possibly afford to sit a little further back because they've come close to being caught out from long range by Arizona a number of times, and even when they haven't, it's put them under tremendous pressure that could easily be avoided.
Oh, and that's gonna be a great goal to get them started as well. Not anything that could be done to avoid the inevitability of that shot coming from Columbia. And a great way to get it started as well. It's just a powerful touch from Cam. Gets it all the way to the left side. Nudging was in on close post, and just not quite enough from Jelly to get across net to reach it in time. And even though we were expecting Columbia to come away, it's still going to be important for Arizona to try and get at least a response here. Otherwise, It could do a lot to shake their confidence with this series, and that is exactly what I was hoping to see. Nudging, getting them back level as we cross into the second half.
In carbon copy of the last goal, there was just so much power on the shot. There's no chance for the defender, even if he's in the right place at the right time. And the finish from Cam for the Columbia goal, so far out to the left, the keeper coming across just had no chance. Again, it's just carbon copy, same deal here. Columbia College with a set play off the kickoff. I'm curious to see if it'll pay off for them, but it doesn't really look like they're going to get much from it. Arizona will get the possession back.
Little 50 there from Cryptic as well to keep it into the attacking zone.
Good,
This one
very
coming
good.
all the way black over into the blue paint. It's sent down, Nudging unable to get there. Jelly will find a touch over to the right side as Cryptic trying to find his way back in control. The counter rotations coming around defensively as Cam looking to send it downfield, but into the awaiting arms of Jelly. No boost, but he is able to get a little bit. Cryptic though, wary of that attack, able to get on top. Nudging off that right side, was looking to cut it around. Not a whole lot of power though, and it's easy to get picked up. Quick transition downfield. Cam taking the shot. Good accuracy, but not quite the power necessary
I'm lagging
to keep
so
it
hard
out
right
of
now.
the hands of Jelly. And as we wind down to the final 90 seconds of this opening game between these two, it's been really back and forth, and I feel like it's been an equal amount of opportunities really for both sides as well.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail right on the head there. The next thing I was going to bring up and I wanted to chat about is Arizona does not look like a team with a losing record right now. They're doing a great job against Columbia, and I think, again, I highlighted this a little bit already, but the way they're playing and the long ball game that they're trying to bring to the table is working against Columbia. They're trying to challenge in the midfield, but where they get beat, they're struggling and getting pinned all the way back. The one goal that they conceded was really on a great shot, but that opening is a direct result of, again, just the long balls from Arizona. Columbia College might be better served playing maybe a little more passive in the midfield and making sure that they can actually intercept the initial threat from Arizona before it turns into a legitimate problem on the goal line. But on the flip side, when they have been in possession, they've looked good. That possession has just been so short-lived because they're playing high up in the midfield and letting Arizona play the long balls.
Bro, I'm lagging
Feels like Columbia
so
College
hard.
still have a lot to do here, and they can kick it into high gear and pose a lot of problems, but it's yet to materialize.
25 seconds, that's all that's left so far. Is Cam able to get a little bit of a touch out there at midfield? Be out again, shot coming through. Jelly with the save. It's not the greatest of clears, but he is able to keep it out of the back of the net. Lucid gonna follow it up as well as nudging a little bit of the defense out of the way. Final 3 seconds. Shot gonna be blocked on the line, and we're gonna be going to OT here in game number 1. A lot closer than I think Columbia was anticipating coming into this game.
And that 0-second missed opportunity for the physical play. Crow's shiny wings was sitting in the middle waiting for a pass that was evidently never going to come through, and he had a clear shot at the keeper. Opts to wait for the pass instead. They might have had the game in their hands right now, or right there, but instead, here we are, find ourselves in extra innings in Arizona with a legitimate shot at taking this. Defense from Arizona is looking solid. They don't have that many shots going forward, but at the end of the day, you can keep a clean sheet. All you need is that 1 or 2 goals.
Yeah, sometimes it can just be the 1 or 2 plays that make the difference over the entirety of a series. 40 seconds in here, couple of opportunities from Arizona off the bat. Oh, it's attacking pressure coming from Columbia right now. Jelly able to get back control. Oh, the duck gonna come through, and Crow's shiny wings gonna be able to send it in for the left side, and Columbia take game number 1.
Are you gonna
And the first touch from Jelly
take
to
pictures
the
and
right
shit?
corner is just a letdown for him. At that point, he's doing everything he can to catch up to it, but that car has a speed limit, cannot get there in time. Crow's shiny wings, great positioning, gets there in the nick of time, just knocks it past, and no one home for Arizona. So game 1, victory for Columbia. We were expecting maybe a little bit more of a dominant showing, but at the end of the day, they did the business and they get the job done.
Yeah, and they get the job done with an excellent shot coming there as well. Crow's shiny wings trying to get himself a little bit of Twitter clout with stuff like that. I'm sure we'll be seeing that highlight on socials, because an absolute beauty to end game 1 OT. But Arizona, I mean, they are not going to be packing their bags just yet. You could tell with how they were playing, and especially in the early stages of that overtime, that they were hungry to try and get an initial win. And even though it doesn't quite work out for them there, I have a feeling that my prediction of a 3-0 sweep is going to end up being wrong, because Arizona is showing a lot of aggression, and it's not just aggression to be aggressive either. It's been really well thought out and executed aggression to try and get plays down the field. And if they can really start to convert on some of the opportunities that they have begun to open up for themselves, we could really see a swing back in their direction going into game 2.
Definitely, but to play devil's advocate here, I think the playstyle Arizona is bringing to the table, right, again, centered around the long pass downfield, or the long bomb, boomer ball, whatever you want to call it, is an easy way of playing to shut down if you're in the opposition, right? It relies on sound backboard defense, sound challenges in the midfield without being too aggressive and too greedy, and you can shut down a lot of the offensive threat there. So I'm curious to see where this is going to go for Arizona. There's certainly potential with how Colombia are playing right now to get some breakaways and get some shots on the board and turn those into goals. But at the end of the day, to me, it still feels like the keys of this series are in the hands of Columbia College.
They've definitely gotten the upper hand here, especially coming in as the favorite to win this game, but sometimes being the underdog can give you the motivation that's necessary to pull off things you never thought possible. See if that is in the cards here for Arizona today, or if they're going to end up folding later on in the series. As Cam, a good touch in the air, backboard, but nudging, just able to get it out of the way. Gets a good bump as well, but it's still in a dangerous spot. Rose was looking for another shot on the follow-through there off the backboard. And Colombia already showing their teeth early on here with a couple of really good opportunities in the opening minute.
And in that, you can see the difference between these two teams here, where Colombia was trying to score on that follow-through with Crow's Shiny Wing. That's a great touch. Won't find the back of the net, but a great effort from Colombia. But to wrap that thought, that second shot, the follow-up from Columbia College, has been where they've been most threatening, where really the initial efforts from Arizona are where they've scored their goals and come closest to scoring more. And to kind of reinforce that point I was making between games, I think that's where all the difference is, because you can shut down those kinds of plays way easier than where you're playing the follow-through and trying to take the easy finishes rather than the first ones.
Time will tell. It is still scoreless here. Very similar to the game number 1 that we saw. A couple of opportunities back and forth. That opportunity from Lucid not going to be enough to work its way
great demo.
through. And oh my God, Crow's Shiny Wings, you realize you're on stream right now. That's going to be used as evidence against you in a court of law, because you just straight up murdered that man.
Yeah, I mean, both players from Arizona just stuck up in the other side of the field, just trying to retreat. Pro Shiny Wings, again, super heads-up play, super aware to know that he takes that demo, and that ball is going to slowly roll into the net. So good stuff from Pro Shiny Wings, but not to discount the effort from Cam either. He hit that from the parking lot and had to beat an on-rushing Arizona player to do so. So great team effort all around, even though obviously the highlight still goes to Pro Shiny Wings.
Racking them up at this point. It's just going to be the Crow's Shiny Wing show on the CCA Twitter at this rate, as it is another 1-0 lead here for Colombia. Second game in a row where they're able to take the opening goal. We'll see whether or not Arizona has a quick response like they did last game as well. This one coming back down and around midfield. Lucid gets a good touch. Going to be a demo, a double demo as well. Cryptic taking the shot, nudging, doing a great job of realizing the dangerous situation he was in, but where was the defense? Nudging played it so well. He gets the touch. He does as much as he can, but I mean, the other two were back in net. What's going on?
I think double mistake there. I mean, I think, to be completely honest with you, the initial mistake is from Cryptic. The shot, possibly not the best play there. There's 3 keepers in net. He could have slowed it down, but nudging answers right back with a lackluster touch, and it bounces right back into the middle for the finish. So at that point, both keepers caught out. There's not so much that can be done, but I think mistakes on both sides of the field and a little bit of luck goes away with Columbia College, perhaps.
And hey, going to be giving away opportunities like that. If you're a team like Columbia, it's best you take advantage of them while they're there. And they're able to take advantage of that mistake out of Arizona. Double their lead here, and only 2 minutes left to play in game number 2. And they are closing in on a match point here. They're able to hold on to this score line. Jelly looking to try and send it downfield. It's nudging again. Good touch into the air. It'll look to follow it through. Matt over near the corner to keep his progression from moving too far out in front. Counterattack, looking to try and follow up here. Good mid-air pass, double touch opportunity, but the block comes in as well, and it's a huge send back down the other way. Has to play it back out into the
Awesome.
corner, but this could be a dangerous play. Jelly
I went the wrong
off
way.
to the right side, over to Nudging again. Can he pick it up off the corner? He can, but Cryptic with the reads, and you can tell this man's in college.
And this is really what I was highlighting there. A great effort from Nudging will almost find the back of the net, but that initial effort is the real threat for Arizona. The follow-up is just not possible because of the way they're taking those initial shots. Columbia College get it so far clear because of the pace on the shot that at that point there's no hope for Arizona to get it across. And really what needs to happen is they need to either start scoring those solo efforts, or alternatively, they need to start setting themselves up to try and recycle possession and start sieging the Columbia College net, because whatever they're doing right now evidently is not working in terms of trying to take the long shots and relying on the individual plays from midfield.
Feels like right now they might have started this siege in the middle of winter. They are struggling at the moment. It's dropping down again. Good little touch from Crows, but no one there to follow it up. Final 30 seconds. Going to begin taking away. Off the ceiling is Cryptic. Backboard Crows again looking for a quick, tight angle. Not able to get it lucid. Is able to find the save with just 18 seconds left. Arizona need to score right here and right now. Nudging has to score on this opportunity. That one's going to get saved away. There might be one more here from Jelly. If he can get it around, it's out in front. But that play away is going to end game number 2. Much more in favor of Columbia this time. We don't need OT to decide things here. And for Arizona, after a very strong game number 1, they are suddenly backs against the wall facing a serious point. They're going to have to try and figure out something to get themselves back in line here, Flop.
And goes again on the 0 second. You see the double touch attempt. They just cannot find the back of the net. Everything that they're trying, Columbia has got covered. So plan B is going to have to come out for Arizona, and it's got to come out now because they are out of get out of jail free cards here. This is the business time. And to be very honest with you, I've been super impressed with Cam's showing on the side of Columbia College. I think he's doing the business as the utility guy, the Swiss Army knife of the team. Great showing all around.
Yeah, I mean, Columbia, it just really does feel like they are working as a complete unit here, because they've been connecting with each other midair, connecting on passes down low. They are not leaving really too many spaces in behind, and when they do, it feels like they recognize them on a dime and are able to just get back to that for when Arizona starts to push their way downfield. And for Arizona, when you're playing against a team like this that really feels like they're just gelling well together and are a unit, it's really difficult because there are not a whole lot of opportunities that come your way, and when they do, you have to execute on it 100% of the time, and that is what we're seeing them struggle with a little bit here. So game 3, Salty Shores might be the last that Arizona sees here tonight, but they have an opportunity to extend us farther. They're just able to start to capitalize on those few opportunities, like I was saying, that were coming their way.
And I think that starts with playing in a way that's unselfish. They need to start, rather than looking for the double touches and the air drag from the midfield here, they need to start trying to turn those into possession downfield and getting into the danger zone and shooting from inside that 6-yard box. Because the long-range efforts, while flashy and seemingly close at scoring, Columbia College has got the answer all day. That's a good effort from Jelly to get the pass in field. But again, the save is there. The follow-up will come in from Lucid, and at that point, the offense is already stale and blunted. That's a bomb downfield, and Nudging will get there just about in the nick of time to keep it out. Good pass from Crow's Shiny Wings. Will have too much on it. His teammate cannot get there in time.
Good touch from Jelly, though, looking to try and cut it across, but Nudging going to get nudged back into his own side of field there after getting taken out. Crow's Shiny Wings with possession off the backboard. Good setup. It's not enough for Cam to be able to cut across. Lucid trying to find the clear, but he clears it straight into Cryptic. Flip reset, but he can't follow it up. Was an excellent opportunity. Might have been a good option for goal. But again, we have our 3rd game in a row, I believe, if my memory serves me well, where we go past the first minute with no score to speak of.
I'm not sure I agree with that, but I think there was one, possibly the first game, someone scored with about 45 seconds gone. But either way, Arizona have at least managed
with math and time, so I would be par for the course for me.
Hey man, my engineering degree doesn't agree with you. Anyways, Arizona doing a better job of playing a watertight game here. They're at least frustrating Columbia College and forcing them to try and dig deep, to try and get anything into the back of the net here. So good from Arizona, but the offense needs to come out. And at some point, yeah, you defend for a full minute and a half, and you're going to get trucked, as Crow's Shiny Wings informs us.
I mean, Crow's Shiny Wings just has to be going for an engineering degree as well, because his ability to calculate that on a dime and hit it perfectly was just magnificent. Columbia, third game in a row that they're able to take the lead. They haven't not been in a lead.
Free touch.
And Crow, Tom, you are just on fire right now.
Yeah, and he's just executing the fundamentals extremely well. I mean, those are the kinds of shots that you need to be putting away, but whenever you miss those, it's discounted as, oh, it was a tough shot. But at the end of the day, those are the ones you need to score, and Crow is hitting everything right now.
Lucid trying to pick this up, but the mountain being made out of the initial molehill lost in round one is starting to get pretty steep. As a 2-goal advantage with about 2:50 left on the clock.
Where the fuck are you going, you puss nugget?
We've seen Glip. Oh,
what a shot.
All right, Cryptic. I mean, that is just disgusting.
Oh, I got a full team on me.
I mean, straight filth from Cryptic at that point. The 50-50 against Jelly is so good. I mean, at this point, they're farming for montage clips. 3-0, 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. It's hard to see what Arizona can possibly do to get back into this game in the face of such a beating down that they're taking right now.
At this point, is that
That's
another?
Yeah.
Come on! Absolutely insane. And if you thought that Arizona's willpower might have been a little bit lower before, it's got to be rock bottom right now. That is 3 goals back for total in this game. We're not even into the second half yet, and it feels like Columbia is trying to pad their stats right now.
Yeah, and the wheels are falling off the wagon for Arizona, but more than that, it feels like the wheels are falling off and the axles have been cut, because they are just stopped dead in their tracks every single time. Jelly will get that one away at least, but again, that was another one that was in the danger zone. Cam is going to try to get this one off the ceiling, will jump for it. Not able to get it goal side though. And at this point, you can tell Columbia College feel like they've done the heavy lifting here, and they're trying to cruise to victory.
Oh, Nudging almost had a really nice play. You can tell with how he's driving his car too. He's so frustrated. Had such a good run up. Jelly will finally be able to send it through there, but I mean, that has just got to be pure frustration for Nudging, who had a really good fake and run up on that play, but then just not able to send it into that left side.
And for anyone that was watching CRL Fall, what's funny is I did the exact same thing on stream, or almost the exact same thing, except there was no keeper and I managed to miss. It was completely free, so I can definitely relate. It's a gut-wrenching feeling, but at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do about it besides keep your head up and keep pushing. You've still got 1:45 to make this comeback happen, and you've got one on the board, so you're not making it easy on yourself, but you've at least started to pull this back.
Starting to pull it back, but with 93 seconds left to play, it's going to have to be a borderline miracle from Arizona, and that's just to keep the series alive. It's still series point. The double demo is going to be good, though. It's going to be enough for Lucid to get in, and a 2-goal difference here with 1:21. I mean, that's certainly doable.
Yeah, they needed to be scoring every 45 seconds. The first goal takes 45 seconds, so 2 more sets of that, 2 more rounds, and they can potentially be back in this here. But for Columbia College, they need to kick themselves out of cruise control and get back to the dominating fashion that we saw in the first 2 minutes of this game. That's a good demo to get them to possession here, but Arizona will keep it out of the danger zone and out of harm's way.
Another good touch coming across, Nudging to be able to play that in. Cam gets a glancing touch, but that demolition onto Lucid will slow Arizona down just a bit. It'll be a drop out in front towards left side. Cam again over to Lucid. That one played away, and time's really beginning to run out here for Arizona if they want to try and push this to an overtime.
Yeah, it was a goal every 40 seconds. It's now a goal every 20 seconds for Arizona. So 40 seconds, 2 goals on the board to get this thing into extras. And that's independent of the fact that they still need 2 games after this. So this job feels all but done at this point for Columbia College. And I think for me, for Arizona, when the physical play started coming out, it just went from bad to worse.
23 seconds left to play. Cam able to control. Play across Crow was reaching for it. But I think that is going to be all she wrote for game number 3 and for this series as a whole. It does not look like momentum is in the side of Arizona to pull things back in their favor. So, even though I was rooting a little bit for that potentially game 4, game 5, my prediction, unfortunately, ends up being dead accurate. Columbia taking a 3-0 sweep over Arizona and looking just fine doing it.
Yeah, 3-0 sweep and an impressive showing at that. The scoreline doesn't really do it justice how dominant they were across those last 10 minutes of Rocket League, or really 7.5 minutes, I should say, because it feels like that they kicked on the afterburner halfway through that second game.
Yeah, that first game, Arizona, I think if Arizona wins that overtime, we see them keeping a lot of momentum. But after Columbia getting that really nice goal from that left side wall in to win game 1, it was just sort of downhill from there. And
yeah.
I mean, look, Cam and Cryptic both doing an absolutely phenomenal job in support. But I got to give a huge shout out to Crow Shining Wings, because, I mean, we saw play after play from him that was just absolutely on the money. Man felt like he was in free play for some of this here. It was just absolutely incredible performance from him. And Ryan, I'm going to go ahead and bring you back into this, or Wells. What are some of your thoughts on that series we just saw?
I mean, first off, I just got to call you out on denying, how our word is law here as casters. I mean, I told you, when we make these calls, we're writing the script.
Yeah, you're right. My word is law. I called a 3-0 sweep. Also called that my paycheck's going to get tripled. So, I mean, it's law, right? It's law.
It's
both
only
of y'all are
within
getting
the
tripled
game,
as well.
and
Everybody's
the talking
pay's getting tripled.
points.
Exotic's paying for it. Big clap.
It's only within the game, and while
that's not how laws work.
Your paycheck, however, is gonna.
I like to think
they
that
didn't
it
have
could
enough
affect
money
the
to
real
go around,
world.
man. But looking back on this series, Arizona just not able to get up and keep up with Columbia here, Sleegy. And is there too much you feel they could have done different, or anything that they should be looking into moving towards as they get on with their next 5 games before the season ends for them?
I would advise them to look at that game 1 for Arizona and to try and really dial in on what was working for them, because that game 1, I mean, it looked good. They had it. Essentially a phenomenal opportunity to take a victory there. I think the rest of the series ultimately comes down to momentum. They sort of lost a bit of their steam after losing that game 1, and then as soon as they were up against series point, it can really be hard mentally to fight back against that. And changing that sort of mentality in these sorts of games is not something that you can learn overnight. It's something that comes with time, and it's certainly a specific option that they need to look at. But go look at that game 1 and really try and get a grasp of how you were performing at that level, because that was the peak for them this series.
Yeah, and
go on.
Sorry, I wanted to expand on that because this is something I touched on throughout the series. That game 1, they just leveraged the long ball, right? Columbia College were sitting more aggressively in the midfield, trying to challenge and getting caught out. And a lot of the threats from Arizona were coming from, the double touches, the air dribbles, etc. When Columbia College starts sitting back and playing that little bit more passively, there was no plan B to turn those long balls into possession rather than immediately going for the shot. And that's the name of the game.
Yeah, always finding that transition, always finding a way to keep the plays moving forward. That is definitely the name of the game. But Floms, too, we are looking at Columbia, and Columbia just came out and dominated through this, despite the fact that they were having to use a backup player here today in Cam, but it feels like he slotted in extremely well here.
You would have thought that Cam was a starter without his whole unit was playing. I was thinking, I didn't quite call it out because I was like, is Ryan wrong, or is he sure that this guy is a substitute? Because
is the starter.
I mean, he's playing like he has been a fit in with this team since day number 1. And what that tells me is 2 things. 1, Cam is just a great player. But 2, this team is really practicing a lot with each other, because in order to have a slot in like that, have it roll that smoothly, they are putting in the reps on the back end in preparation for these games to make it count.
Yeah. hit the nail on the head. I mean, there's really nothing more to it than that. I think a lot of teams often overlook the fourth man, and you can't afford to do that. If you want to compete at the top, it's one of those things that you need to be capable of doing. And obviously, some of the teams that are under the flags of athletic programs, such as, you know, the Northwoods, the Akrons of the world, that's not so much a problem because you have those designated practice time where, you know, in other teams where you don't have that luxury, especially there, working that fourth man into the rotation takes dedication and effort. And for that, Columbia College deserve a round of applause.
Yeah, and just the depth of the bench here for Columbia College, it pans out extremely well for them. Super sub Cam comes in. They get the dub with the 3-0 sweep. Guys, we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to have Texas A&M versus UT El Paso. But before we go, I do have to remind you guys to do !Discord there in chat, so you can come join the CCA Discord, join in on all of the action that is happening over there. It is also the official Collegiate Rocket League Discord. So if you want to get in on CRL for the fall season, that is also your destination. So if you want to get your college chat together, you want to try and compete, that is the place to be. Again, you do !Discord there in chat so you can get in on all the action. Guys, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, again, Texas A&M versus UT El Paso. You don't want to miss it.
Bro, you're making no sense to me, man. What the fuck did that do? Bruh, I'm just... Yo, I'm surprised I haven't... Oh. What's her abilities again? I don't really like her abilities. Yeah, we get it. Give her really good abilities.
depends on you.
Oh, just one.
Jake from State Farm, that Maya markdown saved me so much on my insurance.
Maya, everyone gets surprisingly great rates with State Farm.
How can I ever repay you?
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Cause I play to win.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to the College Carball Association Summer Series presented to you by Psionics. It's such a mouthful, and you'd think I'd get that by now, but, you know, we managed to make it all work here, guys. We just saw a sweep again there between Columbia and Arizona. It is just the night of sweeps. Everybody breaking out their brooms. Some of you are the sweepers. Some of you are just the dust that gets dumped in the trash can, unfortunately. But joining me here to talk about all of it is Sleeky and Floms. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. Hey, well, this is the way I need to look. Hey, Floms has got the sunglasses. Let's go. We all in unison now, boys.
Look, man, I got angry messages that I wasn't wearing sunglasses, so...
It's the summer series, man. You can't not wear the sunglasses. It's part of the vibe.
I let myself be victimized by the peer pressure. So
I was about to say, that's
This
classic
is just
peer
proof
pressure
that
right there.
sometimes peer pressure does have net positive outcomes. Just all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, if you're in front of, just almost 2,000 people and people are telling you should wear sunglasses, I think it's a little easier to be peer pressured then, honestly.
Yeah.
But going into our final matchup tonight, guys, it's going to be Texas A&M versus UT El Paso. And these are two teams that, they're Texas. They're near and dear to my heart, but they have had their fair share of struggles here in the summer series. And Sleeky, Texas A&M, they're currently 1-5 this season, but their one win is notable in that it was a 3-0 sweep over UNT of all teams.
Ooh, okay.
What do you think it's going to take for them to find that type of form again and start taking some more series here?
All right, so I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Okay, I'm gonna let you in on some deep underground, dark Rocket League secrets for winning. And I think that they're gonna have to probably play better than UTEP in order to kind of replicate that same outcome that they had in their other win. I think if they play better than the other team, they're gonna end up walking away with a victory here.
He's just the worst kind of person, isn't he?
He's just honestly, if I'm being real right now, Sleeky's spitting facts.
Yeah,
I mean, look,
we
man,
all have one of those people in our circle. That's all I'm saying.
the team that scores the most goals in a game will win. That's all I'm saying. It's just math. You should know math, Floms. You got that engineering degree. You're telling me about. You know all the math.
That's true. That's true.
And
Can't argue with that kind of logic.
Floms, the Honey Badgers, they're sitting with a pretty similar record to A&M.
Straight face is so hard.
I'm trying to ask questions, Sleeky. Just duck out of frame real fast. Let me ask you a question.
All right. Here, I got you.
All right, awesome. So Floms, they're sitting with a 1-6 record, but their one victory, it comes from Utah Black. But otherwise, most of their series have been 3-0 sweeps against them. What's it going to take for them to, prevent another 3-0 sweep, or at least be competitive, if not win?
I think Sleeky was spitting some hard facts. At the end of the day, to win a game of Rocket League, your scoreboard needs to read more than the other teams. If you have 2, the other team has 1, that's how that works. Then you'll come out with a win. But to answer your question more directly, they've got to just dodge the demos. Texas A&M is a super physical team. And if you let yourself be victimized by that, you find yourself in the wrong spot at the wrong time all too often, then they're done here. But on the flip side, if they can get themselves out of that, they draw Texas A&M out of rotations, force them to chase the demos in places where they're not getting an edge from it. That can be a key to success for El Paso. I think there's a number of ways to mitigate it. That might be the easiest and most straightforward off the top of my head. But at the end of the day, they just need to come out and put up a good showing. They have a better record on paper. I think it's within margin of error. It's anyone's game. You just got to come out and play with confidence.
Yeah, it's going to be an extremely close series, I think. But with all that said, let's get into some predictions here. And Sleeky, I'm going to let you kick us off.
I'm going to go. Yeah, all right.
I think you should pick the better team.
I think, first and foremost, that the team that gets 3 wins is going to walk away with the series. But the team that I think that's going to do that is going to be Texas A&M, and I think they'll grab that 3rd win in Game 4.
All right. And Flums, what are you thinking?
I also think Texas A&M, there's absolutely no logic behind it. This is purely a hard overhead. I've been friends with all of those guys for way too long, and our coach at Northeastern was a former Texas A&M alum, so I'm on the bandwagon as well. I think it's going to be 4 games as well.
Ooh, this one's tough for me. Is it? It is.
It's
because
Texas and Texas.
A&M,
there's no losing.
A&M, they beat UNT. UTEP Honey Badgers gave me a lot of channel points because I predicted their 1 win. It's fickle.
You always go for the Texas team?
I do. And going for the Texas team got me a lot of channel points. Bigger number, better person. That's what we talk about here.
Yeah.
And so with that, I think I'm going to go Texas A&M. I think Brains and the demo plays are going to come through for Texas A&M, and I think that's going to do them really well. But guys, you can bet your channel points there in chat, and you can also try to get a bigger number and become a better person.
How many do you have?
I have 40,000.
Get wrecked. I have 52,000, nerd.
So you're a slightly better person than me. Whatever.
I'm also
Texas
a bigger
A&M.
person, just like physically in size. I'm like wide. I don't know how much I weigh. Every scale I step on breaks.
I'm
so
not
it's
even
just
gonna try and talk anymore. Y'all just take it. Just go. Just go.
We lost the script for this show. We lost control a long time ago.
What's hilarious is this is actually all scripted, and we're just such phenomenal actors that it feels as though it's just off the cuff and random. Really exotic. He was just sitting there in his room today thinking about how to make this a somewhat entertaining show. With all the sweeps we've been seeing, that, you know, we had to get pretty creative, but it looks like the teams are taking the field, and maybe, just maybe, Flums, we can end the night with a series that doesn't go to just Game 3.
These kinds of nights are the reason CCA sells white Helmsley blankets. I'm convinced of it.
It's the only answer. It really is. But we are getting into the game here. It is Texas A&M and UTEP playing off against each other. Texas A&M in the maroon and white, UTEP in the dark navy blue and gold, as we get things underway. And both of these teams, you know, we were talking about it a little bit, not the greatest of records on either side. So, you know, sometimes you see teams with high records and you're like, yeah, that looks good, just like that goal from Jan looks good. But maybe, even though their records are a little bit lower, since they're both kind of low, we might see a close game here.
Yeah, and shaky defending from Melly there, just sits there and lets it happen in front of him. Could have been more proactive in denying that early opportunity for UTEP, but at the end of the day, the cards fall where they do, and UTEP out in front already. 22 seconds gone. Texas A&M had some early pressure off the kickoff. They don't make anything of it, and UTEP just run the length of the field. That's a good bump. Melly gets there with a 50, helps it goal side, and comes out with a net.
Yeah, I mean, talk about getting a quick and exciting start out to this game. 30 seconds in, and it's 2 goals split evenly between both sides here. An absolutely massive way to just, I mean, really get started off on the right foot for both of these teams. And so now the question is going to be who can maintain this for longer. We are going to see Melly trying to cut over on that right side. It'll be a drop down again, looking to follow it up, a little bit of a bump. As Braves,
open net if you can hurry.
It's a good touch out in front. The drop down, but the power not there. A great save coming from King to keep it away.
Great save, but also wasted chance. They had all the time in the world, and they just end up taking more than all the time in the world to get that one goal side. Brains probably could have sped up his play a little bit, and Texas A&M might possibly be in front right now. They're in a weird spot here. They will at least be able to get this one out of the way, but only temporarily. Brains comes through and will get this one out of the way, but Texas A&M already showing that they're going to be playing a passive play style on the goal line.
Good drop, King. And then maybe followed up. Back off. Good decision. Flashosaurus trying to get this one cut around. Will be all the way over to the right side. Jan, follow up out in front, but it is able to get played away by Brains. Flashosaurus again. Looking to try and get that in the midfield. It's a follow-up from Jan, but a miss from Brains, and it could be an opportunity. Brains, though, able to get quickly off that side wall and gets another touch on it to drop down, but it's not dropped far enough. As a soft, clear shot going to be a bit high. Brains looking for the follow-up, but he can't quite get there in time, and that might just be a giveaway of a goal up in the air, but Calculated able to get there.
Just about gets there in the nick of time, and I thought in seeing that go downfield the way it did, I thought that was game over, but just missing power for the side of El Paso. They could have gotten back the lead there, but ultimately they're left empty-handed, and you can see the dangers of the Texas A&M playstyle. If they get the bumps, it can be incredibly effective. On the flip side, they miss the bumps and they expose themselves to those kinds of play where it's just hammered from the parking lot, and this time it's going to be the pressure that will do them in as they're not able to get a clear, and El Paso will take the lead.
Now El Paso able to take the lead, and 2 members from Texas A&M up in the air. Neither of them getting any sort of contact on that ball. And so, as we close in now towards the second half, it is going to be a lead for UTEP. Jan going to potentially follow this up off the wall, get the clear out in the midfield. Calculated getting the beat to it. Be towards the corner. Calculated following it up again. We're starting to see Texas A&M really pushing themselves in a position. It was a dangerous spot there, but no one from Texas A&M in the sort of zip code to be able to follow it up. It'll be calculated. Back wall, slight touch, double commit though on that save as Melly towards Brains, but that just ends up getting played away.
And Texas A&M, the offense is looking a little stale, I gotta say. Whenever they aren't able to get those physical plays, they don't have that many ideas to really get themselves downfield. So I think it's going to be a story of all or nothing here for Texas A&M, as they are already struggling that slightest bit against El Paso, who have done a great job defending the goal line, I gotta say. They double commit there, but at the end of the day, the defense has been shored up, and they have done a good job of frustrating this TAMU team.
Calculated. Done in this corner. It's played again out by Jan all the way across. King looking for a send out. Could be a pickup here from Flashosaurus, though. Brains doesn't get a whole lot on it, but he is able to keep it from coming in front of net. Follow up. King does a great job of staying on top of it, but he can't quite keep it under control on the ensuing follow through. Brains going to get taken out of the play. Jan sending it over. Flashosaurus getting bumped, and we're getting a lot of physical play now, but as long as UTEP can hold on to this lead, I mean, it's not been too many opportunities, and instead of holding on to this lead, Floms, they are going to be extending it.
And again, Texas A&M just caught out. Calculated, forced to make any touch he can to keep that one off the goal line. Buys himself about 3 seconds, but the follow is there from El Paso. Texas A&M down by 2 now. Minute left to go. This is not going to be easy for them, but if any team was going to have this up their locker with their play style, you'd feel like it might be Texas A&M, but at the same time, it might also be all too late.
That one coming off the back wall and down again off the side. Melly, no touch. It'll be King that plays it to the sidewall, but Melly is able to get the follow through. Runs out of boost, though, before being able to do too much with it. We get down to the final 33 seconds. Brains. Small touch. The demo good. Melly able to get a touch around to it, but it's another opportunity that looked really solid for Texas A&M that they're not able to capitalize on. That one of the best looks we've seen thus far, but the save from Flashosaurus potentially winning the game for UTEP. One opportunity left. They have to score right now. Calculated, not able to make it happen. And UTEP doing a great job here in game number 1 of taking and securing control. And we'll see if that continues onwards as they get the upper hand to start off this series.
Yeah, game 1 goes the way of El Paso, and a solid performance from them. It didn't feel like they had to do anything too much to get that one over the finish line. And on the flip side, it does feel like A&M could have done more to stay competitive in this game. And some of you will hate me for this analogy, but the best way I can describe this is in playing Call of Duty generally, independent of what the game mode is, it turns into team deathmatch. You're running around just killing people rather than trying to play the objective. In some ways, that's what we saw from TAMU. They're running around looking for demos with little objective behind them. It doesn't feel like they were playing to try to win. It feels like they were playing for the sake of playing. I don't know how to put it any better than that, but there needs to be some more intent behind what TAMU is doing between the demos and the team plays.
Yeah, it's just going to have to be something here from Texas A&M as a whole, because I'm right there with you. It didn't feel like they were putting as much pressure as they potentially could have in the situations where they had pretty decent opportunities to score. We only end up seeing the one come through, but I mean, when you've got 8 shots on target, you've got to be able to take better advantage of the situations that you're put in than what we saw. It is only game 1, though. You know, maybe knock a little bit of the rust off, get yourself mentally set going into game number 2 here. But it's going to, I'm not quite sure what they need to change other than just, I mean, hitting the ball in the net more often.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I think for Texas A&M, they got to play the game and let the demos be maybe a little secondary, rather than going out of their way to look for these demos. Play the game, and when the opportunity arises, then you go for it. You can't be taking yourself out of the play, especially on defense, to try and look for demos. And this is a play that we've seen many times now. Texas A&M just caught out on the break, pushing up aggressively. Punt comes down from way downtown, and they just can't get back in time. The last time in game 1, they don't concede from it, but this time they're made to pay.
Yeah, make them pay, and not even 20 seconds in, and it's a goal for UTEP to start things off. Might be able to see a response so quickly. Great 50 on the follow-up. but it's not enough to keep it from being saved away. Calculated, can't get his hands on that one. Brains, few touches towards net. That one played again, though, off to the right side corner. It'll be Melly out in front again. Brains had an opportunity potentially to turn on it, decides to play it a little bit safer. I think that that's probably the right choice, just because he was the last one back. If you don't win that challenge, you end up giving away possession. But at the same time, would like to see maybe a little bit more aggression here from Texas A&M when they are in opportunities where they've got a decent opportunity to push it into a goal-scoring position.
And especially in that instance, Brains was last back, but on the flip side, to play devil's advocate, there was a double commit from the side of El Paso. And, you know, maybe that's one of those times where some might be more willing to play the probabilities. I think he probably should have played the probabilities and rolled the dice to see if he can make anything happen there, because even in losing possession, he's probably not going to concede from that position.
Yeah, and especially when you're down as well, try and take a bit of a, not an incredibly risky, but a somewhat risky opportunity to at least get yourself back level. Either way, they still sit at a 1-goal deficit, 1 minute 30 seconds into this game. Comes back for Calculated, able to get possession. Jan challenging him there. Gotta say, when you've got a red team versus a blue team and you wear a red decal, it makes it a little bit confusing. I thought it was a team bump for half a second. Now it's like, yes, that's just the NRG logo. It's not confusing in the slightest. Oh, wow. Okay.
Texas A&M just bully their way through. There's really nothing more to it than that. The ball's in the corner. Really, you'd think that was the safe place, but the double demo just completely opens up the net. Texas A&M, with a good play, they're finally able to put their physical play to good use, and they get themselves back level here.
Able to get themselves back level. And so now the question becomes, what can they do to take advantage of the next opportunity that comes their way? This one getting sent over to the right side. Calculated, good feet. He leaves the ball behind. Excellent fake there from Jan. He's able to get the follow-up pickup on the ball, but no real boost to get back control as it comes back the other way. Calculated towards back in Jan. With a clear over to the left side. It'll be a backboard hit coming down again from Melly. He gets bumped off of it. Flashosaurus will get a big clear downfield, but straight back into Brains in the shot. Calculated from Calculated to give the lead to Texas A&M.
Again, better from Texas A&M. That's a great pass from Brains, and the shot from Calculated is even better. Needs to keep that one pinned to the ground. The worm burner, the only way he's getting through that avenue, and he does exactly that. So good response from Texas A&M all around. El Paso still feels like they're stuck in second gear, and while that might have been sufficient against Texas A&M in that first game, if Texas A&M are going to play like this, then El Paso are going to have some worrying to do here.
That they are. Is this one coming straight back down again? Melly getting it around two. Baby looking for a bump. Good 50, but Jan able to find that save and a clear downfield. And Jan might be able to get that one through, and he does. 2:03, and it's 2-2 on the board. Is UTEP doing a great job on that quick transition play downfield.
And again, it's just a carbon copy of two previous goals now for UTEP. Just punted downfield. The foot race back cannot be won by Texas A&M because of how far pushed up they are. And it's been kind of their Achilles heel here. They've conceded 3 times now, possibly 4, maybe even 5, depending on how you want to argue it. There's work to be done for Texas A&M. They could afford to sit that little bit more passive, and they would have the lead here rather than being tied.
Another good touch from Jan. Calculated, looking to potentially follow it up again. It'll be Melly towards Calculated. Great pass, but no one there to receive. Melly again, taking it up the back wall. Looking to potentially drop it down, and Brains with the follow through that slides by like butter. 134, and it's a lead back in favor of Texas A&M.
Return fire again. I mentioned between games that I wanted to see them try to play the game and look for something else beyond the sort of out of rotation demos, and I think we've seen 2 great examples there, both passing plays leading to Texas A&M taking back this lead.
This one drop down right side, King unable to quite follow it up. It'll be backward again. Pick up from Jan. Brains, you okay over there? Able to finally get it. I was worried for a moment. I was like, Brains, what's going on? Gotta find the touch eventually, but he is able to get it through. Just maybe an unconventional approach on it, as it's another infield pass. And Another one that ends up getting blocked down. 60 seconds to go. Texas A&M hold on to this 1-goal lead and trying to get this series back level.
Trying to get the series back level, but they almost conceded on getting beaten out again from a long ball. The one that Brains made a little bit of a mess of there. He gets back and gets it across, but again, the warning lights are going off for me. Texas A&M have got to shore up the defense here.
Another one coming in front. Melly, the right side. It'll be Flashosaurus. Get the small touch, but it might be a good touch. Jan, oh, close, but no cigars. It ends up going a bit wide. Flashosaurus, the drop straight down, and there it is from Jan. That is going to be the equalizer with 22 seconds to go.
Tough break from Melly. Gets caught on the backboard, falls off the backboard, and ends up just out of reach. Can't get that one out of the way. So Texas A&M caught between a rock and a hard place. They are brought back to level fighting terms by UT El Paso here. So 22 seconds, kickoff on the cards. This one still has the potential to avoid extras here.
King. Good send back into his own half. Able to just make a little bit of space. It'll be Flash. Oh, straight down, and it's a giveaway. The goal that could potentially
smoke screen
take away this game. It's just a bit unfortunate there from Flashosaurus. Too far forward, and then Brains with the finish off there. 7 seconds. They still got a chance potentially here, Flop.
Yeah, and I think the smoke screen doesn't do the keeper any favors there. Completely takes out any chance he would have had at trying to get to that ball, because part of me wants to believe he might have been able to, but in the face of the demo, it's game over. So Texas A&M just need to spike this ball to get us back onto level terms here, and the missed touch from Jan will be everything they need. So Texas A&M, after a blunted performance in game 1, come back with a much sharper performance here to get themselves back level in this best of 5.
And I mean, hey, you know what? So maybe the caster word is law, because I did call Texas A&M winning in 4. So them losing game number 1 might be just right on the money. Either way, it was a really great game here in the second one. They get a little bit of a gift right at the end to avoid overtime. Just a small mistake from UTEP that ends up having a massive impact on the outcome of the game. This next one going to be really, really important, because whoever walks away with it going to be up on series point. And regardless of who wins it, I think the series ends in game 4. I think whoever is able to walk away with this one has enough momentum rolling into the next game that they're just able to finish it off right then and there.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And to go back to what we were talking about in the pregame, I think the better team will close it out in 4 games.
Well, only time will tell. First time tonight, though, that we are, no matter what happens here on Celtic Shore, is we are going to have a series that does not end in a sweep. It was part of the script. I see it right here on line 17. It says no sweep for the last series of the night. So glad to see we're all sticking to our obligations. But then from there, the script is empty. Texas A&M and UTEP, they've got to figure out how it's going to work for them as we go into what is essentially now a best of 3. I know that's everyone's favorite line as we get things started and underway here on Salty Shores night.
Yeah, 10 minutes of Rock League just effectively wiped out. Both teams put on a good game, and both teams put on not so good games. So it's really still anyone's match for the taking here. Someone is going to have to assert their dominance in this series here, and UTEP is going to be the ones to look to do it first through King Avocado.
Well, the touch from Jan, looking to try and come over, but it is on the right side now. Brains with a good 50. Flashosaurus connecting with King, but going to be too far over to the right side. Calculated, getting a powerful touch. I don't know how he was able to generate that much force on the ball from that angle, but either way, it is going to be sent back down. Melly was looking to cut it around, but it's not quite enough. Calculated. Soft touch, able to get the follow through over to the right side. Melly's going to be in the air. It's going to be off the backboard, but no one there to follow it up.
And that's really been the story for Texas A&M, hasn't it? They've gotten the initial efforts off, and if the keeper has been in place and the first effort is denied, the follow-up just hasn't been there. The physical game has really been the name of the game, and in times where those plays haven't been there, the lack of possession has really come to bite them in the rear sometimes.
Good 50 from King as he, oh wow, able to still get it out in front as well. Did he get a bump on Jan there as well? It's all kinds of things happening. It's pandemonium out on the field. left, right, and center. But either way, it's 90 seconds gone. Still 0-0. Two absolutely massive whiffs. I took my brain a moment to realize that no one touched the ball there.
Yeah, and one of the things that happens, I mean, whiffs on both ends of the field, though, it's something that happens in this game is turning, in a way, into a slugfest versus the crisp action that we saw in the first series where we saw Crow's shiny wings really light up the server. No one has really stepped up to make a difference, and I know that's a shallow commentary, but there's really nothing more to it. There's a storyline to be written, and no one has been willing to accept the role as lead actor and hero here.
King, another one that was potentially trying to work its way through. Flashosaurus was looking to send it in. King back out mid again. Jan trying to take a shot. Brains able to keep that one out of the way as it'll become straight back down again, calculated into the corner as we now head in to our second half here. Still 0-0 to speak of, as both of these teams, I think, realizing how important a victory in this game truly is, not only for the series point, but the potential to get a win here can really, put these teams in a potentially position to try and make something out of a season that so far has just not been going either of their ways. And Melly, absolutely clean shot coming in from midfield to give Texas A&M the lead.
Again, repeat play, no defense presence from El Paso in the midfield there. We saw the last time Brains dropped it for Calculated. This time Brains drops it from Melly, or excuse me, Calculated drops it from Melly. And again, great play from Texas A&M, but for El Paso, the defense in the midfield just not present.
Melly again. A little bit of a touch there off the back wall. Follow up, that's off the ceiling, back down again. Texas A&M doing a good job of making sure they don't overcommit on every tiny opportunity that comes their way. It's Jan on the side wall. Bit of a miss from Flashosaurus, but it is going to be cleared downfield. Brains off the back wall again. Follow up not there. Calculated though, takes the shot and he scores. 129, and it's a 2-0 lead for Texas A&M.
Pile driver from Calculated, just so much pace on it. Once again, the keeper left with absolutely no chance, especially after he puts it behind him. Great finish from Calculated to double the lead.
See what comes of this kickoff. Texas A&M, it feels like starting to get into a bit of a stride here. With each passing minute, it feels like they play better and better. Calculated. Out of that corner, Jan with control. With an attempted demo there on the final defender, not quite able to pull it off. And so that attack coming up a bit short. Flashosaurus trying to just 50 his way through. It's up in the air again. Calculated redirect and a great save from King to keep it out of net. The back and forth continues, but still Texas A&M holding on to that 2-goal deficit.
And I gotta say, I love what Texas A&M are doing here. They've taken the demos that were not working and tried to come up with a game plan, and the infield passes have been so good. This time, Melly, the one to dish out the caviar. Great pass for Brains, and the finish is just as good. Flashosaurus is in the right spot at the right time. There's just nothing he can do about that finish to the bottom corner.
Yeah, and I think part of that as well is, I mean, King and Jan, they both saw the shiny ball in the sky, and they really wanted to touch it, and they end up looking like two outfielders in a baseball movie because they run into each other. It leaves it wide open, and it's pretty simple work for Texas A&M to take advantage. The final 30 seconds, it is now a 3-goal lead. It would have to be something just absolutely out of this world for UTEP to end up coming back out on top. We are seeing a little bit of an attack coming through here. That one off the backboard, but Texas A&M not going to be able to find the save. King sends it through. They're going to need to score 1 goal on average every 5 seconds, but it's certainly possible.
And again, another great finish. He was shooting at a needle pin there. Excuse me, at a pinhole is what I was trying to say. He put it in the top corner right where he needed to find the finish. He's given at least them a shadow of a chance, but that shadow has been lit on fire and burned. His Brains will return fire on the kickoff, and this one goes back from plausible to being basically over.
Yeah, that is the ice right there that was necessary. Not too much of a hope to come back with 3 goals in 7 seconds. So Texas A&M going to be going up on series point. There's still an option for UTEP to pull things back in their favor, but it was a strong victory from Texas A&M. This was no close game here, realistically speaking, in Game 3. So UTEP going to have to try and pick up the pace moving forward.
Yeah, and that's really the only option they've got here. They're still scoring. They're just conceding 3 last game for this game.